Ginger Joe made a brilliant shout for American Sniper, who's available at about 66 to 1. There he is in the corner there. Look, so yeah,
Sniper's dream.
Sniper's nightmare.
Howdy, welcome back to the Cheltenham Exchange and our second festival preview. Tonight we're looking at the handicaps. Could take quite a while. It's a bit of a minefield, but the boys have been studying hard, so get ready for some gems. Get your notebooks out, ready for some gems. So yeah, thank you to everyone who watched the first video. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure you get on there and watch that as soon as you can. That came out this morning. This will be out tomorrow morning, Thursday the 6th. So yeah, get your notebooks ready. I'm sure the boys have got some gems. So evening, fellas. Everyone all right?
Yes,
very good.
Same crew as last night again. We've got Alex, we've got Ian, Johnny, and Mr. Fletcher. So good to see you all again, boys.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Nice to be back.
Excellent. Right, so try and keep it as short as possible, which is going to be a challenge anyway. So we'll jump straight into it. Day one, third race, the Ultima. And we can't start with anybody else other than the Ultima King. We have to start with Alex. This is his race. He's probably got a couple of races in handicaps, to be fair, but this is definitely his race. So come on, Alex, what wins it this year?
Yeah, I love the Ultima. Probably my favourite race at the festival. I love the handicaps, to be honest. I think you get a lot more enjoyment from the handicaps personally than you do from a lot of the graded races. Just a bit more excitement, isn't it? More runners, and it feels like a proper race. Horse I like this year is Whistle Stop Tall. Best price now of 10s. He was available as big as 40 to 1 about 6 weeks ago, and he's just been backed in. His chances to me look pretty obvious. I mean, he's obviously a novice, which is a pretty good stat for this race. Totally unexposed. He's had 2 wins over 3 miles in November and December when he stayed on strongly at the finish. Came over to Cheltenham for a spin in January, ran over 2.5 miles, which clearly wasn't far enough for him. He was the back most of the race. I think that was really just to see how he handled the track. They've been quoted as saying that they think he's going to be their national horse for next year as well. And if you go back to their last national horse, Korak Rambler, he ran in the Ultima the year before he won the national. And then the year he won the national, he won it as well. So trainers like to follow the same paths, don't they? So they're sort of creatures of habit. So that's my fancy for this year, Whistle Stop Tall.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Alex. Well worth keeping note of that one. Okay, we'll go with Johnny next.
Yeah, I actually quite struggled on this race this year. So a bit of a tentative to start me off, to be honest with you. I've gone for Famous Bridge. Finished a remote 4th in this race last year and only off £3 lower. So I think he could run another solid race for Nicky Richards. I think the ground, to be fair, probably this applies to a few of them, was against him last year. I remember it being pretty heavy. So I think on a better surface, he's probably a few pounds better than he's showing in it last year. I do like horses coming back to the race that have run pretty well the previous year as well. So he ticks that box. He was really impressive last time out at Haydock in a Grand National trial. That might be my only concern, is that he'll go for the national instead. I'm not 100% sure on that. I've not seen any quotes as yet. But I think he's 20 to 1 anti-post. He's probably about 60. He's non-runner, no bet. So I think he's a decent each-way shout, knowing that he's been on the course before.
Lovely. Thank you, Johnny. Mr. Fletcher.
I am going to pick the favourite, the Changing Man. 3 seconds, or fell the first time this season, 3 seconds and a win. I thought he was really good at Ascot last time out. And I think Joe Tizard, and I certainly think the Jockeys in rare bit of form at the moment, which is good for them. So for a small-ish yard, I hope that the Changing Man wins.
Oh,
lovely. Thank you very much, Graham. Nice and confident. And Ian, finally.
OJ, I thought I had my horse all sorted, ready to go, and my Henderson one ready with Highland. And what does he do? He bloody runs him at Kempton, doesn't he? I said, oh, for Christ's sake. And I know he ran second, but he was a fast second to Katati Dory. Funny enough, is in this race. So I've had to have a plan B. And obviously, one of them was that Alex gave me Whistle Stop Tour, which I'm very grateful for. And the other one I managed to find in the last few days that I'm quite interested in is Henry's Friend. He's had 3 runs this season. One of them, he was fourth in a Pertemps qualifier. It was beaten by a horse that Johnny will discuss later. And he's had a couple of runs at Newbury over 3 mile 2, was fifth. And then one last time out Christmas time, beating Hymack and Brave Kingdom by 6 lengths. He pulled up in the National Hunt. So he's kind of got Cheltenham experience, but I think he pulled up because of the ground. It was heavy that day. He'll like the ground if it stays good to soft. And I just think the mark of, 145, 11-2 at the minute, depending if any others come out. I think he's on a nice weight, and he could be the one for me. So I've got Whistle Stop Tour each way, as Alex has got, and I'll have Henry's Friend for the win, OJ.
Henry's Friend, and I think you were saying before, already jocked up. Ben Jones on board?
Yes, he is. Yeah, so we've got a few already that are jocked up. I don't think Whistle Stop Tour is yet, but yeah, slowly, since the 6-day decks today, they're slowly getting jocked up.
Lovely. Thank you, gents. So Whistle Stop Tour, been a long time fancy for the Ultima King, Alex. Famous Bridge for Johnny, The Changing Man for Graham, and Henry's Friend for Ian. Lovely. Thank you, chaps. Right, we'll move on to the 6th race on the card next Tuesday, which is the Fred Winter. And we'll go to Johnny first here, please.
Yeah, obviously one of the tougher handicaps to get stuck into this, isn't it? With not much to go on, really. A lot of juveniles, some of them not maybe running up to their peak during the season to try and get a lowly mark in there. I'm going to side with one at the top of the market in this, Total Luck. I would totally ignore his last run. He lost a shoe, and he was also found to be coughing post-race. He will need to improve his jumping. He was a little bit shabby at a couple of them last time. He has got a loose form line through Terra Firma, who was hammered by East India Doc, my other favourite for the Triumph. But he has improved pretty much every run apart from that last one. And he does fit a few of the trends for this race. So I'm going to go with Total Luck, but I also just want to mention that one that me and Alex went on straight after the DRF was a bit of an eye catcher, but he has been put in at top weight, and that's Mullins' horse, Willie de Hoy. Top weights don't really have a great record in this, do they? I think Brazil won, did he, a few years ago? But I've just got a funny feeling he can run into a place. I think he's better than what he's shown so far. So, yeah, that would be my second choice, but Total Luck first.
Lovely. Cheers, Johnny. That Willie de Hoy, wasn't that the one that they were raving about before anything had run at the start of the season for the Triumph or something, was it?
Yes, yeah, the Richie
like
one.
94 for the Triumph or something.
Yeah, Richie. Now it's in the bloody Boodles.
They were raving about that, and James Owen was raving about Lavender Hill Mob, wasn't it? And he's just been absolute dog shit. So he's my solid all season. If he doesn't peak in, I'm going to have to back him each way because I've been going on about him for weeks. So
lovely. Thank you, Johnny. So Total Luck, Cromwell horse. Ian, come to you next, mate.
I've got a couple for you, OJ. There's one that's similar to Johnny at the top of the market. I like is Mercia for Willie Mullins. A couple of runs this season. One potentially with the form lines with Hello Neighbour, Leopardstown. You got Lady Vega Allen was in that race, and Naturally Nimble Willie de Hoy that you said about before. Ran on second, quite a nice second, only beaten the neck. Or you can ask me to pronounce that horse back There you go, Ray. That's my poor pronunciation for the Irish horses. He only beaten the neck, Paul Talon on board, so a much better run. Got let's see what he's got a mark of 136 or 11.8, as we said. The other one I'm quite interested in is the Warren Greatrix horse, mark of 126, is Quanta Kills. Has won at Cheltenham already, won it in December, beating, who did he beat? Oh, it was the dead heat with Terra Firma, and in behind, funny enough, was Total Luck, and ran last time out at Cheltenham, beaten by East India Dock and Stencil. So again, I kind of like that form. I'm trying to think what price is at the minute. 25-1, and I think he's been chopped up already as well. Yeah, Harry Cobden will be on Quantum Kill. So a nice each way for you, and Mercier for the win.
Lovely, thank you, Ian. Mr. Fletcher.
Yeah, this is a tricky one for me because I quite like Stencil, but he's a bit of a mystery horse, really, I suppose. But I too like Quantock Hills, and I did think about Total Look, but now Johnny's got that one, so I'm not going to bother with Total Look. He can have that if he wants. If he wants it, I'll share the glory with him later on. So I'm going to go with Stencil because he's an unknown, and JP McManus likes an unknown horse, so I'm going to go with Stencil.
Lovely. Thank you, Graham. And Alex.
I'm quite keen on one at quite a big price, 33-1. It's a turn and finish for Harry Derham.
I like it when you say things like that.
He was brought out of Joseph O'Brien's yard. He'd actually finished second to Put Your Hands Together, who's best price sort of 10s, 12s-ish. He's got form that sort of ties me with a lot of these sort of Irish horses. He had form with that Bacchanalian, whatever you want to call him. Not quite sure how the pronunciation is on that one, but he's got a lot of form with those sort of horses. And as I say, he's had one run for Harry Derham since, one at Catterick, although it wasn't the highest RPR that day. And Harry Derham said that he'd had a break since he joined the yard and he wasn't 100% fit. The form for that race hasn't worked out pretty well either. But post-race comments were saying that it was a prep race for this race, so for the Boodles. And despite being a horse that had form in Ireland, because his last race was in England, he's been judged on British terms, so he hasn't had that Irish tax that a lot of these Irish ones have had. So I think he could be one that's sort of lurking in the market at a big price that could be a big danger in this race. And I mean, at 33-1 as well, even if he runs into fourth or fifth, you still get a decent return as well. So that'd be my selection for this race.
Lovely. My sort of a price, Alex. You know that. Get the coffee.
50p's are coming out, are they, OJ?
Certainly are. Lovely. Thank you, gents. Right, so that's the Fred Winter done. I won't run through every selection. We'll have a quick recap later on. So we move on to day two.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't.
Oh,
National Hunt Chase.
Changed, OJ.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, totally lost it. What did it say? Fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, National Hunt Chase. We will go to Graham first here, please.
I was just looking through the runners and riders, or certainly the runners anyway, and I didn't realise that a work in progress was going to be in this race, but I think he might well be now. Is he on the list of on the betting exchange you got there, gentlemen? Work in progress? Is he not there? He is there.
Certainly is.
He is. He certainly is. Yeah. Quite like a work in progress.
And he's what jockey, Graham?
James Davies.
James Davies.
James Davies. Yeah. Good. Even better. Nick Gifford trains for JP McManus. Sounds like I'm picking all of his at the moment. But I also think that Now Is the Hour's got an excellent chance. Gavin Cromwell's a very good trainer, and he likes to win at Cheltenham, and he's done it quite regular. So I would put two up there. Now Is the Hour, and I hope that a work in progress does what he says it does on the tin. Wins.
Nick Gifford, shrewdy old training at Gifford. Okay, we'll go Ian next.
Oh, OJ, I really like one in this. I've been taking the drum for this horse all season. It's Transmission for your mate Neil Mulholland. All of his runs have been over Cheltenham this season, mainly on good to soft ground. First time up. This is why I'm a bit gutted that Highland's not got it. Transmission and Highland and a few of the other horses all tied into a piece of form that I thought potentially could have gone into different races across the festival. So it was just it was well beaten by Highland. In behind on that day was Moon d'Orange, and I think Theatre Man was fourth, who I believe was in one of the handicaps later in the week. Then won in the November meeting with Mr. Patrick Mullins, who I believe will be jumped up for the race at the festival. And then in December, Haiti Colors, just beating 2 3/4 lengths again. Transmission running on, which we want for the 3 mile 6 race. Peaky Boy was third again. Moon d'Orange in that race, who was again won since. And last time out, very clever, he ran over hurdles in the in the Cleve Hurdle that Gal Road won, and he was just there for a day out. Basically, he had an ice cream and come 18 lengths behind. So so I'm really strong on him. OJ, he could be one of my handicap fancies at the festival. So 5-1 at the minute. Transmission.
Love that, Ian. Thank you, sir. Alex?
I've got 2 in this race, actually, OJ. One of which is an old favourite of mine, Jericho Rock.
Yeah.
He's actually got the best form of all the horses in this race. He was second in the Ultima in 2022. Second behind Korat Rambler. We all know what he's done since. And then followed that up with a third at Newbury in the old Hennessy, was third behind Lamilos and Remastered. After that, he then had just over 2 years off the track with injury. Came back in January this year. The handicapper dropped him really, really nice £6, which was very kind of him. Ran at Windsor, had a third at Windsor back in January. And the handicappers dropped him another couple of pounds. And the horse that was second that day has gone on to one again since. So that form looks pretty decent to me. So he'd be one of my selections. And then the other one is Resplendent Grey. I was hoping he'd go for the Kim Muir, but he's in this. Now, Resplendent Grey, to me, has been crying out for this step-up and trip. He's had 4 runs this year. 2 of them are at Cheltenham. He had a second to Highland in a listed race over 3 miles. He was beaten half a length, but staying on well. Springwell Bay was actually back in third that day, and he's now rated 154. Next time out, he was second to Handstands at Sandown, that was over 3 miles as well. And that horse has gone on to win the Grade 1 Scilly Isle since as well. Then the next race at Cheltenham, he then ran over 2 mile 4, which was clearly not far enough for him. And he was then 4th behind Jaguar, who's a very short price for the Jack Richards novice chase. So there's a lot of substance to his form as well. So I think I can't believe both of those 2 horses are still a double figure price. So I'm going to take both of those. Thanks, OJ.
Lovely. Jericho Rock, I'm sure he was one of your horses to follow at the start of last season. Pretty sure.
Yeah, and I put him up for the Kim Muir the year he was second behind Korat Rambler in the Ultima.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you, Alex. Johnny, finally.
Yeah, hopefully you'll like this one, OJ. It's a big price.
Currently
50-1 on William Hill. I've just checked now. So I'm taking an absolute flyer. I'm going to actually go for the top weight duffel coat for Gordon Elliott. He's got absolutely bags of experience with 12 chase runs and 12 over hurdles. I'd say that his form's actually the best in the race, Alex.
Nah, bollocks.
Second Galway plate, which is a grade 3, so I think that's better. Which is being top weight. He did go up 5 for that for the second, but he has come down £1 for a Quiet Ride at Ayr in January. I just think at that price, he's absolutely huge, and he's top weight for a reason. And he'll probably give a good account of himself in it. So we know what Gordon likes, these big handicaps, doesn't he? So hopefully he's just got him on a good mark, and the class can show through. So I just think the experience of him might give him the edge over quite a few of his rivals.
Lovely. Yeah, you're right. I like that one, Johnny. Love that. It's a good thing I didn't forget about that race then, isn't it? We got some nice picks there, boys. Jolly good thing I didn't forget about it. Right, okay. So now we can move on to day 2.
Yeah.
And the Coral Cup. And Ian can kick us off here, please.
I should add, one of the horses I like, I say departed friend, I'll make it sound like he's died. Matty Luke likes, but I'll mention that later. He's on the injured list. Well, I'll go with the one that apparently is the Shrewdies like at the minute, which I've latched onto his Comfort Zone for Joseph O'Brien. Had a bit of a funny ride or runs this season. He's running the Irish ROH. He had a run it over the summer over 2 miles 6 speed to behind the Wall Park. He's well fancied for the Pertemps and potentially in the Stayers Hurdle. Won last time. No, he didn't win last time. He won over Christmas. No, he didn't. He won in October. Go on, get my get my words out. Beaten Toolstone at Nice, and at Christmas he was beaten third by Ascarbaro, which again I think was only about 3 1/4 lengths, but didn't find really extra, so more of a run in. So they've kept him away since Christmas. He's got a mark of 137, quite low in the weights of 10 stone 7. The other one is Impostoir that Matty likes for Mr. Henderson. Just a 1 run this season at Newbury, and 1 beating Guardian Moon and In the Waterside, one of Alex's old favourites. But he's another horse that's got Cheltenham form, mainly on the old courses, won there before. Again, on quite a nice mark. He's got 141, so 10-11 at the moment. Be interesting to see who rides with. Probably be Nico, depending on how many Hendo's got in the race. But yeah, there'll be my 2, Impostoir and Comfort Zone, both JPs.
Lovely. Thank you, Ian. And Johnny.
I'm back to the top of the market for this one, and I'm going to go with a skeleton one. Be aware. I have sort of had this back for a few weeks now at a better price than he is at the moment. I think he's 37 on the list at the moment, but hopefully he'll get in down the bottom of the weights there. Obviously, we'll find out tomorrow if he'll move up a few spots. He's got some form behind Burdett Road at the November meeting at Cheltenham. And it was pretty, looked like he wasn't stopping there. He looked like he kept on quite well. So that was a bit eye-catching. The only slight concern is I'm just hoping he's not one of these horses that always finishes second. But that, obviously, with it being skeleton, that could be by design. Keeping his day until next week. The other one I've got written down is one that Ian's already mentioned. That's Comfort Zone, who I followed for a couple of years now. I think me and Matty both liked it a couple of years ago. I just think he's well handicapped, and he's got a big one in him at some point. So we'll see how he gets on. But Be Aware would be my main choice.
Is that Johnny or is it me who's frozen?
Yeah, you might have been frozen.
Me.
Yeah, I heard everything that Johnny said.
Sorry, it was definitely me then. Village life. I was sitting there thinking,
to stop?
Johnny's frozen.
You are
Thank
the
you,
only guy in
Johnny.
the village.
Okay, Alex, Coral Cup. I think we're still on the Coral Cup.
Yeah,
Still on the Coral Cup, OJ. I agree with everything Johnny said about Be Aware, so that'd be my main fancy. And then on the off chance that he sneaks in, which I don't think he will because he's number 50 something, I'd probably have a little each way on Beat the Bat for Harry Fry. He's about 25 to 1, something like that.
There he is.
There he is. I don't think he'll get in. But I mean, because there's the county and there's the pipe. You never know. And a lot of them are entered in all 3, aren't they? So in fact, I found a horse earlier that's entered in the pipe, the county, the Coral Cup, and the Pertemps.
That's Springwell Bay, isn't it? It's got about 5 entries.
It's mental.
Lovely. Beat the bat for Alex if we get in. Okay, and Graham, please. To wrap
Okay, I was going to pick Wadhu, but I'm not sure if he's going to run because he's entered in the Martin Pipe as well. He's got a better price for the Martin Pipe than he has for the...
Yeah.
She.
I'm sure she goes there, Graham.
Yeah, I'm sure she probably does, actually, which is a shame. Anyway, 6 out of 6. She hasn't lost over hurdles. So that's my Martin Pipe selection, by the way, if you want to. So I'm going to go for one of my favourite horses, Alta Belly. Won last time up. Very impressive. And I just think he stays as long as a mother-in-law, I think. So I think he's got a good chance. Alta Belly for me.
Lovely, thank you, Graham. What a footballer, by the way, he was.
He was, yeah, very good footballer.
He was a brilliant footballer.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Thank you, chaps. And on to the next race, which is the cross country. Brings us nicely round again because I think this is Alex's other favourite race, especially now that it's back as a handicap.
Oh, it's so much better now it's a handicap. Don't care what everybody says. It's no longer going to be mopped up by Grade 1 horses that can't be bothered for a Grade 1.
Love it. So, lead us into this one then, Al.
I will mention him, but I'm sure Johnny's going to make a big case for him. So my main win bet would be on Galvin, especially with this drying ground. But like I said, I'll leave that one to Johnny. And then I've got a really wild one for a place. He's way down the betting. He's called Jevry. He's one of Gordon Elliott's. They are 40-1. I don't think he'd be without a chance. He's down to 134. I think he was mid 140s at one point. If you look back in his form, though, back in 2023, this is looking quite a way back. He was fourth in the plate at 125-1. Shake 'em Up Harry won it that year. Fugitive was second, who then went on to win the December Gold Cup. And after that race, he was then second in the Irish National to I Am Maximus, who then went on to win the Grand National. He then won a race at Limerick that year with Cocoa Beach behind. And then he had absolutely no form whatsoever at all in 2024. But the positive on that is he's down £12. So £12 lower than when he had that decent form. I'm hoping these national fences will spark him back up again. And he'll be off basically a featherweight. He should be pretty much the bottom weight if he gets it. I think he is in, actually. I think he's already in. But 40-1, I'm happy to take a little swing.
Lovely. Thank you, Al. Well, Mr. Evans, then, straight across to you. Make the case for Galvin, an old favourite.
I've not actually got a massive case, to be honest. I've Alex gave me a big thingy there, but it's like I've literally put not a lot to say on this race. But if the ground keeps drying out, then I think Galvin is the obvious choice, isn't he? Likes the course.
Just wins, doesn't he, Johnny? Just wins.
Yeah, I think he would win. I really do. I think he'll just be better than all the others. Again, he's a lot classier than quite a few of these, and if he gets his ground, he's just a huge danger. I haven't backed him yet. It'll be one for the day, depending on what happens between now and then. The only other one that I mentioned was I'm obviously part of the big gamble on Bustleton, where we all know where that came from, don't we? So, yeah. We backed him at a huge price, so I'd rather him win at the moment because I stand to pocket talking. We stand to win quite a few quid, but yeah, we'll see how that one goes when we're watching it with the lads. But Galvin would be my choice for this purpose.
Lovely, thank you. What price did you get on Bustleton then? It's about 8-1 now, isn't it?
20 something, wasn't it?
20s, yeah, 20.
Very nice. Okay, Graham.
Do you like I hate this race? I absolutely hate this race.
Graham!
I always back the winner. I have to say my record is pretty good. Alex.
There we go.
He does always back the winner, and he always complains about the race every year.
Horrible race of shit. I don't know why they have it. It's awful. Round and round and never decreasing circles. So I picked out a few because I liked Stumptown. He won last time at one of the previous meetings. And Ian's just put the thumbs up, suggests he's got that one as well. So maybe I'll also put in Vanilla, who ran really well last time at he's done it again, Punches Town.
That's my two.
That's two. And I think I'll put in the winner of the first of the cross countries this season, Isio Madrick.
Oh, the Frenchie.
Was coming to win the second cross country. He couldn't get around the corner because I can't remember the horse that took him out. Something from up north, always runs at Kelso or something like that, I think it is. And I think a French horse who love the cross country. There's my 3 stabs at it. One of them will win, and it'll probably be Stumptown.
Lovely.
Okay.
Right, Ian, come on then, make the case for Vanilla and Stumptown.
I'll try my best. We'll go with Vanilla first. I know he was 9th at Cheltenham. I think it was Christmas time when Stumptown won. He has come out and won since. He won on the Billy Idol at Punchestown at a double handful. So that was quite impressive, him coming out and doing that after the run. And I know Stumptown's was the handicap put him up £8, but I'll just say to anybody that watches the race, instead of being in December, Mr. Coffee was running on like a train, and you could see Keith Donahue just trying to pull him up. So for him to pull him up and steal on that easily, I know it was a length. I know he's the top weight. I just think he's too classy for these. I was just thinking, so him just showing him easing up at the last, was it furlong or so? He'll do me. So Vanillier stuck down to shit home, OJ.
Shit. Love it. Thank you, Ian. Right, where we at? So we're on to day 2 Grand Annual.
Yeah.
Go on then, Ian. You can carry on.
Okay. Right. Yes. Okay. Right. So I'm with you now, OJ. So another one that Matty likes. Again, but I think a few of us might like the same horse as well. I'll mention him later. And there's an Irish horse. So you can see here it's currently 10-1. The King of PRs or PRS. I like. He's got form with, I think it was Path de Rue who's won here previously. Had a good run. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so it's 3 runs. OJ and Fairy House beaten just behind Folks Tiara, just 3.75 lengths behind. Had a nice win at Leopardstown and Christmas in the fog. Beat a horse again. I apologise, Ray. The Red Pen Ampian Dierg, who won one of the handicaps at the DRF, so that's quite good form as well. And then beating Path de Rue at Fairy House. Beating the Midnighted Tears and American Mike. Again, so it's a quite nice piece of form. He's got a mark of 138.10.7, so that's good for me. And the other one is an old favourite of ours, which is Jazzy Matty. Again, form at Cheltenham before, ran here in October, beating behind Path de Rue. And he won last time out at Furless in January. No, so I beg your pardon, he was second, beaten 1.25 lengths behind Samurai at Furless. Again, quite a nice weight. 10-4, a mark of 135 now with Kean Collins. They'll be my 2 plays on the day.
Lovely. Thank you, Ian. Alex, are you still keen on Jazzy Matty these days?
Yeah, he'd be my main bet for this, although Ian's already put up a good case for him. And then for an Itre one a bit further down the field, I might be looking at maybe San Salvador, although not entirely sure if he runs here. This race is a proper minefield, isn't it? It took me ages to even find anything I kept coming across horses I didn't like, so that's not the best way to start. He's had 2 course runs this season. He was 4th to Path through Jazzy Matty, etc. I think there was only 3 lengths between 1st and 4th that race, and then he came back to Cheltenham again and was 4th behind Loda Sud, but he gave Loda Sud £5 and he gave Lookaway £5. Then sort of fell at Christmas and then had a nice win on the dirt at Dundalk at the end of January to prove his fitness. So yeah, just a little each way on him, but my main bet would probably be Jazzy Matty.
Lovely. Thank you, Alex. And Mr. Fletcher?
I just looking at Liberty Hunter. He's got an entry in the has he got an entry in the Champion Chase? I think he might have actually. Yeah, no, in the Queen Mother Champion Chase got entry. Do you think they go in the Queen Mother Champion Chase? Maybe not. I don't know.
I think he'll go in a handicap, Graham, myself.
Is he betting? Is he? Isn't it betting? Is he? Liberty Hunter?
Yes, I'll check.
He's back 10-1 in this.
Back 10-1. Okay. If that's the case, I'm going to go with Liberty Hunter.
Oh, yes, 8-1.
8-1. Won at Cheltenham back in December 24, over 2 miles and half a furlong. I think that it is Evan Williams seems to be hitting a bit of form for all our Welsh friends in the audience. Just fancy that he might just I think he'll win. I think he's got a good chance. Liberty Hunter for me. And as an outsider, I was going to give you Touch Me Not for Gordon Elliott.
Lovely. Thank you, Graham. I do like Liberty Hunter. And not just because of the Welsh factor. Like that. Okay, Johnny, last one, please.
Yeah, some old favourites for me as well in this. Obviously, one being Jazzy Matty. I think he's probably way better than 135, to be honest. He's obviously had a sight at the fences here in the October meeting. In fact, when he lost to Path de Rue in that race, I think he got, I think he gave £8 to Path de Rue, but now he gets 10 off him, which is like a massive swing. So he's definitely got a massive chance in it, and he's probably the one I'd put up. But I do also like Path de Rue as well. He's one that I've followed now for a while. And he was a good third in this last year off 142. I think he's only £3 higher this year, so he can go quite close again. And I also think Unexpected Party, last year's winner, will go well. I mean, he's only £3 higher as well. So I think Skelton's campaigned him quite well just to keep him not that much higher than last year. And you know what they're like; they could easily come and back it up. So I wouldn't be surprised if those three filled out the top 4 or 5 places.
Lovely. Go for the Ian option.
Try.
That'd be nice. Lovely. Thank you, Johnny. Okay, so that concludes day 2. We'll probably have a brief pause and a quick drink and whatever else, and then we'll be right back with day 3. Okay, and on to day 3 and the Jack Richards Novice Limited Handicap Chase, or as it was, the Turners, and should be very interesting as a handicap now. Mr. Fletcher, what are your thoughts on this one, please?
Well, it's got to be the Jaguar for me, I'm afraid. Won last time out, brilliantly ridden by John Joe Jr., JJJ, whatever it is. And I think he's been laid out for this race, absolutely laid out for this race. It'll hover around 5th or 6th, and it just kept on coming again in the last time it ran at Cheltenham. And I think it's going to take a hell of a lot of beating. So Jaguar for me, big bet.
Nice,
I think. Nice
and confident. Could be a good festival for Mr. McManus, buying all them horses last year. Okay, Johnny?
Yeah, I've got 2 written down. One's like Graham's already adhered to there with Jaguar. I think he's been laid out as well. This looks like it's been the plan. He looks on a nice weight. Obviously, he's got the course form from Trials Day. The other one maybe not so obvious, and that's Tully Hill. He was pulled up last time, had a superficial wound on his leg, which didn't help him. Prior to that, he beat Asian Master when he was behind Mr. Giff in January, and he was giving him £7, but now we'd only give him 2, so that would put him clear of him again. And if you look at Asian Masters form, he was actually only 7 lengths behind Madgeborough back in December. So that form, if Madgeborough hacks up on the Tuesday, then it might stack up a little bit. So I think Tully Hill with like that form line could run quite well at about 12-1.
Lovely. Thank you, Johnny. Alex?
I'm mostly with Graham on a Jaguar. I think he'll probably win, but I would give a chance to Springwell Bay despite being top weight. I know this not the same race as it was, but there used to be a novice 2.5 mile handicap, and the sort of top sort of weights in that race actually had a pretty good record, or at least horses towards the top of the weights. I mean, it was a race that was actually won by Aplutard and like Imperial Aura, horses like that. So generally the sort of classier horses do actually tend to win those type of races. So I'd give him a chance as well. But yeah, Jaguar just looks really well handicapped.
Lovely. Thank you, Alex. Ian, are you going to make it a full house here?
I am. Mr. Jaguar is definitely on the list for me. So with the guys are saying about his run at Cheltenham. The other one, again, talking about top weights, I think he's currently 8-1 in a minute, 9-1 each way. He's one of the Irish raiders for Gordon Elliott's Firefox. Again, he's got form tied in with like Atlantique and Croke Park. I think he was third in the Drimore. He was beaten, 3 and a bit lengths by Madgeborough in the Irish Arkle at the Dublin Racing Festival. What's he got to mark off? I think he's what's he got? 150. So yeah, 11.8. He's one of the top weights. I just think again, as the guys are saying, some of the form potentially Madgeborough could then roll on to Firefox in this race. But he'll be my each way playing. Definitely Jaguar full house for the win.
Lovely. Yeah, Firefox was a strong fancy for the Supreme last year, wasn't he?
It was.
Lovely. Thank you, chaps. So Jaguar all the way there. Love it. Right. On to the Pertemps network. final. Alex, do you fancy anything strong in here?
Yeah, I'm quite keen on Feet of a Dancer. Got a good stat for you here, OJ. 7 of the last 9 winners qualified in the Pertemps qualifier at Leopardstown at Christmas. And that's the race that she qualified in. There are actually 20 runners in that race as well. So it's not like she sort of ran in one of these that when there's like 7 or 8. She was beaten by 4 lengths by Win Some Lose Some in that race, and she's now £7 better off. Next time out, she's then 3rd behind Jatara, giving £9, and Jatara is now 145 rated horse. She wasn't beaten far. The trainer Paul Nolan, he's actually won this race before with Mrs. Milner, and she actually ran in the same qualifier at Leopardstown. So, like I say, trainers tend to be creatures of habit and follow the same paths, don't they? So yeah, that'll be one for me. Feet of a Dancer.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Alex. Ian, there's a Henderson horse here. Jericho de
Revenair. He's. I'm going to have a couple of quid on him, I think, OJ. But this is far from the race I originally thought he'd be in. I thought he was like a 2-miler, 2.5-miler. And to my surprise, seeing him running a Pertemps qualifier over 2 miles 7, and now he's 6-1 is insane. But I think again, some of the shrewdies are saying he's well in. Was he got 135 at 10-11? Nice little run at Exeter behind Catching Derry for the Skelton. So he'd definitely probably be one to have a look at. But the one I like, again, not very original, is the Wall Park. I just think it's the graded horse in the handicap. Screams to me a bit, if people remember, Side de Burley when he came here, won off top weight. And when Mr. Russell, Davy Russell, was moaning about presenting Percy being top weight, and he had no chance in the race, and it was, I don't know, he was outstanding. I just think that he could be the same here, carrying a monster truck and a fridge and a table, or on the back of him carrying 12 stone. I just think he could be too good for these, but they'll probably be my 2 on the day.
On the day. Lovely.
Play on the day.
Thank you, Ian. Graham.
Right. I haven't really done much on this, apart from the fact I was speaking to somebody last week, and they said to me, bet back what I thought he said was the RDR. I said to him, what do you mean the RDR? And he slowed it down and said, D'Art is what it is. So on the fact that this particular gentleman said to me, I can't do an Irish accent. He came over to England. The only time he's been to England is to run at Carlisle to get him prepped up for the race at Cheltenham. D'Art at 14, 15 to 1, maybe 16 to 1, maybe bigger than that. That's my only reason for picking him. And I saw Thomas Cooper interviewed, and he said pretty much similar the same. And that's my reason for picking D'Art. And it's a great name as well. Dart.
And his son's been picking him up in all the previews, Graham.
Yes,
so
indeed. Yes, that's good. I'm pleased about that.
Mr. Brian.
Sounds plenty good enough reasoning to me. That. Thank you, Graham. And finally, Johnny, you've got a bit of a fancy here, I think, have you?
Yeah, I've actually got a couple written down. The first one is one I actually mentioned yesterday in the Albert Bartlett. And I did a bit of digging today, and I didn't realise that Patter Merchant had qualified for this. He was actually 4th at Nace. I think it was the last qualifier a few weeks ago. And I hadn't really sort of realised that until today when I started looking into it a bit deeper. If you look at what he's raced in all season, he's been over inadequate distances, but then he's been stepped up. So I just think that's a bit of an eye catcher. He actually ran a decent race at the DRF over 3 miles when he was 5th behind that old rogue Percival de Galois. And he got put £4 for that. So I think he's a bit of a quiet one there in the market that maybe not a lot of people have cottoned onto. The second one is, if you look at our Thursday Twitter polls, Ginger Joe made a brilliant shout for American Sniper, who's available at about 66 to 1. There he is in the corner there. Look, so yeah,
Sniper's dream.
sniper's nightmare. So yeah, I think that was a brilliant shout. And if you go to hear what Joe had to say in that video, he gave some really good reasoning about his course form, and he seems to be missed in the market as well. And he's like massive each way price. So Pat Merchant, an American sniper for me.
Lovely. Thank you, Johnny.
Problem.
David Pipe could have a good little festival, couldn't he? Right. Okay, thank you very much. Right, we're on to Festival Plate. And Johnny, once again, you can kick us off here.
Yeah, this was another one I didn't realise that I'd already sort of cottoned onto a while ago. I'd actually forgotten about this, but I quite like Panic Attack in this. Again, for the Skeltons, I think Dan's campaigned her really well this season. Last time ran over hurdles, probably to keep the mark as it is. She actually ran a belter. I think she was just touched off by a head over hurdles there. Previous to that, she won at Windsor the time before, and she got £10 for it. But I'd say she probably needed that to get into the race, or most of it anyway. So I think she's on 135 now, which will be hopefully sneak her into the bottom of the weights. And I think she's about 20 to 1. Very distinctive horse and colours, and I think she'll go well in this. And I think mares have done quite well in this in the past as well, haven't they? So I think she'll do well. She'll go well.
Lovely. Panic Attack for Johnny. Odds Masters fell asleep there for a minute there, Ian. Not on the ball there, were you?
No, sorry.
Checking his messages.
No.
Alex.
Yeah, just copy and paste what Johnny said for me. Panic Attack.
That'll do.
I'll keep it simple.
Keep it nice and short. And Ian's still not found the odds to show us. Terrible. Boss man, he's lost the plot here.
I mean, look, they're
got the right race.
They're definitely there. Just Jaguar's the favourite for both races.
You'd probably win them both.
I thought you were going to scroll down to find Panic Attack, and that's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about.
Shocking, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
there he is.
There we go. We can see the prices. There we go. Lovely. Panic Attack for Johnny and Alex. Ian, if you can concentrate on two things at once.
To be honest, Johnny, I haven't. This is probably the first one of the handicaps. I haven't really got a shout in it in a minute. It's hard at the minute to differentiate between which of the novices are going, obviously in the novice race, right, and whether some of the novices will come in this one. Probably the couple I've got my eye on, and we've probably mentioned before. One is Moon d'Orange, having won at Cheltenham in the form behind Highland and Transmission and some of those. He's currently got 135 and a mark of 10.6. The other one is probably the Alan King horse, Masiaco, who I originally thought might be going into the Ultima. I don't believe he is now, and I think he'd be better suited to this trip at 2 mile 5. So they'll probably be the two I'll look at, but I haven't got like a concrete pick for you.
No worries at all. Graham, anything catch your eye in here?
I think Moon d'Orange will run well again. I don't know who's going to be riding it, but he's got a very good chance. The other one I was going to put, there's a couple of them I'm going to put in. Gemeronde. I don't know that Venetia ever won a race at the festival? Maybe recently. I'm not sure. Can't remember. Depends what the ground's like for him. And I'm scratching my head about Ginny's Destiny. Where's that horse gone from being where it was? So I'm going to go with my top pick will be Ginny's Destiny. I think just because I think that Nichols will produce something from somewhere. He'll produce something that wins a race and everybody say what a wonderful trainer he is. Yeah, again.
Love it. Thank you very much, Graham.
There's something's flashed across my phone that's saying that Lossy Mouth in the mares.
That's why my phone was going mental, OJ.
Oh.
Richie's at a preview meeting tonight.
Yeah.
So there's he's apparently, I think it's for the Sun newspaper, and there's a possibility that she might go to the mares instead.
I wonder who's ringing me.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Betfair exchange and the machine's going mental at the minute. So yeah. I don't know what the price is in a minute, but yeah, it's a live exclusive. But there's talk of Lossy going to the mares.
Yeah. Bit disappointed in that.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay. Thank you, Ian. On that bright note, we're over on to the Kim Muir, and you can kick us off in the Kim Muir because I'm pretty sure you said you'd picked one out today.
I did on my lunch break. Let me.
Chinese, was it?
No, not today. It was Tesco sandwich today.
Oh,
What was your meal deal, Ian?
Club sandwich, Watsits, and Diet Coke.
£8
That's a
meal
6 out of
deal.
10, that
2
is.
slices of bread for £8.
Very yeah, so the one I come across at lunchtime today because I was scratching my head as usual. And
not your balls.
I'm scratching my balls. And it's an Irish raider again. It's called Midnight Alfred, who's just had a couple of runs this season. One at Gowran Park over 2 mile 4. Good ground, beat Charlie Luciano and Caesar Rock, and then was beaten at Leopardstown by Percival Lagawa, who also won at the Dublin Racing Festival. Pinkerton, Nick Rocket, I believe, has come out and won since, and I think it's a horse will do. Free Car Bragg has come out and won since. So there's a piece of form for that particular 3 mile race over Christmas. So he's got currently got a mark of 1:32.11.1. I don't think he'll have any issues over 3 mile 2. So he will be my Kim Muir horse. Midnight Alfred.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Ian. Nick Rocket won the Fiestas, didn't it? I think.
Yeah. Was it a week or so back?
Back in January. Okay. Thank you, Ian. Graham.
I believe that the best amateur jockey is riding Johnny Who in this race, I think.
Derek
O'Connor.
Yeah, confirmed today.
Yes. Which made him favourite.
Yeah.
He's now favourite on the old machine, isn't he? So I quite like Johnny Who. I did before, but now that the best amateur jockey is riding him, that might swing it in my direction. So I'll keep it nice and simple, gentlemen. I'm going to say Johnny Who. Johnny Who?
Who?
Johnny Who? Johnny
Takes
Who?
Takes us nicely on to Johnny Evans.
Good link, that, OJ. Fair play.
Link. Yeah, it's seamless. Absolutely seamless.
Just a couple of each way tentative ones, really, for me, because I'm not 100% sure whether they'll go here, and also ground maybe a bit iffy for both of them. But the two, again, that I've followed a little bit. So, first one was Mr. Van Gogh. Like I say, the ground definitely probably will go against him, so he might be one that probably won't even run. But I do still think he's quite well handicapped. He's got some course experience from his third in the National Hunt Chase last year. Not this one that we've got this time around, but that's another story. My other one is the old favourite. I think maybe Scotty and a couple of others like this is Favre de Champs. Also might prefer it a little bit on the softer side, but we'll see on the day. I do think he's had a big race in him for a long time now, and he's just overdue. He's going to pop up at some point in one of these big handicaps. I think he's dropped a couple of pounds this season for a couple of sort of fair runs. So it'd be interesting to see who's jocked up on him, really, and see what the packing order is. But he's definitely one that's going to pop up. I'm pretty sure on that.
Lovely. Thank you, Mr. Van Gogh and Favre de Champs. Alex, finally.
I will join Graham on the Johnny Who bandwagon.
Love it. Love it.
Although I don't really like the price now, but yeah, I will join the bandwagon.
You like the jockey booking?
Oh, it's eye-catching.
Love it. Thank you very much, gents. So Alex and Graham on Johnny Who, Midnight Alfred for Ian, and Johnny's looking at Mr. Van Gogh and Favre de Champs if they run at each way prices. Thank you, gentlemen. Right, we go on to the county hurdle on day 4. I don't know who's not been first for a while. I've lost track of it. Ian, are we?
I could go first if you like.
Last time, no. Alex.
I'll keep it simple. The two trainers that had the best record in this race are clearly Skelton and Mr. Mullins. I think their best 2 chances would be Absurd, who clearly holds a great chance, particularly with the drying ground. And then for Skelton, be Valgrand. I was very keen on him when he won at Cheltenham earlier in the year, where he beat Gail Marler, absolutely thrashed Gail Marler, and then he was sort of a distant second behind Potter's Charm, although that was over 2.5 miles, and he was giving wet away that day. Since then, he's been sort of, I don't know, he's been skeletoned is the way I'd call it. Just sort of sat out the back, not really, just not really getting too involved. And he's come down 6 pounds. So just funny how that happens, isn't it? And now I've seen he's being backed into getting shorter and shorter. So yeah, those be my two. So Absurd and Valgrand.
Lovely. Yeah, I think we did touch on it last night because I got very excited on the performance when he beat Gail Marler and was getting all excited for the Supreme. And then you said since then it was nailed on. After the Potter's Charm race, it was pretty much nailed on.
A couple of runs.
Chasing a mark. Lovely. Thank you, Alex. Johnny?
Yeah, the two initial ones that I picked, I don't think are going to be running now. So I've had to totally start again on this race today. So I had a couple of pretty strong ones. One was, obviously, I was going to go with Pied Piper, but he ran the other day, not very well at all. So, he was only £3 higher than last year's third. I thought he could run another strong race at a massive price, but I dare say he won't show up now, will he, if he's only ran the other day. My other choice was Cargisi, who looks to be going to the Mares Hurdle now. So I'd already backed her non-runner no bet, so I'll be getting some money back from her if she doesn't go. I do think that Lark in the Morning could well be thrown in if he runs here. Remember what happened last year with him in the Poodles?
Yeah.
Still only off 132, and you just wonder if that's been the plan this season. He's been pretty lightly raced, and you're thinking maybe they're keeping him for this. So if he turns up, I might have a few quid on him. But the one I'm going to put up, and I don't know if anybody would have put this one up in any race. It's a bit of a random one, really. But he's actually a Willie Mullins horse, which is why I've put him up as one of the reasons. Like Alex said, he's got a great record in this race. And it's Gaucher, Gaucher or Gaucher, I think it's pronounced. It's French. He was highly formed last year, and he hacked up in a maiden hurdle at Punchestown. But he doesn't seem to have progressed much this season, really, as they thought he would. But he did win at Tipperary in October, and his mark's been the same since, 132 back in Ireland. But he has been given £6 tax by our handicapper. But again, he probably needs that to get in the race, doesn't he? So I wasn't really too worried about that. I reckon he might be a 140s horse, and he ran okay last time. I think it was in the fog at Leopardstown from what we saw, but he was behind that season handicapper Enniskerry there. So it's a bit of a risk reward one, but at that price, if you can get like 6-7 places on the day, you know what Mullins is like in these. He just pulls rabbits out the hat, doesn't he? So he could go well on the day. So yeah, I'm going to stick him up, but also keep an eye on Lark in the Morning if he goes here.
Lovely. Thank you, Johnny. And you never know with Cargisi after the breaking news.
Yes.
May reassess now.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that's another thing, isn't it?
Okay, Ian.
Yeah, like Johnny, when I heard the news from Kelly Alexander, I was fuming. I was absolutely fuming, OJ.
Never seen so angry.
I had Cargis on my radar as well, but it's by the sounds of it, if Lossie does come here, well, I've got to hear Lossie Mouth, Jay de Grugy, Cargis, Gala Marceau. Surely he won't run all four in the Mares Hurdle. I reckon he'll probably separate and put one or two here. So I'm holding hope that she might come here. And then obviously we have to mention this Quebec Demi, this horse has had the 5 runs in France and's got form tied in with Kit's Ball, and so I think he beat a horse that's beaten them, and I think there's another Irish horse that's tied in with that form as well, and could be well in with this with the French weights. I know. I think I was talking to Alex before we started. Then whether they've calculated it wrong, so I think some are saying they have and some saying they haven't. And he's in about 48 different races as well, so he could be the one that's thrown in. They're the two I'm looking at the minute. Absurd, I backed last year, thanks to Mr. Wren, who told us this time last year at the Dublin Racing Festival. But yeah, it's so hard to see. The Mullins has got loads of ethical diamond, and it's just ridiculous. So there'll probably be the two I'll play at the minute. It'll be with Cargies, hopefully, and I'll have back Kopek to me for this, OJ.
Lovely.
Mr. Ray, some of us, not all of us, didn't he?
Yeah,
Didn't tell me.
Never seen.
Told me.
Bastard.
Okay, Graham, finally.
Okay, well, there's first, second, and seventh from last year's race in this race this year. So Absurd, Cargeese, and Bunting. And I was listening to Ruby Walsh, and he was really sweet on Bunting this time for the race. And also, he did think that Cargeese would go in this race, so it was between those two. But I also like Observe as well, so it's very difficult to know which to go for. But I'm going to I'm going to go with Cargeese as well. I think if it's entered, if it takes his chance, I think it's got a chance of turning over Absurd in this race. So make it easy. Cargeese and a little bit of a saver on Bunting, perhaps.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Mr. Fletcher. Right. I think we're on to our final race. Martin Pike, Conditional Jockeys, Handicap Hurdle. Graham, do you want to lead the way on this one?
Well, I'm hoping Kopek Demi runs in this, so sorry, Ian, but I hope it does. And do we think Wadu will run in this one as well?
Yes.
Oh, what a choice. What a choice. Well, there's my two for the race, basically. I think Wadu's won six out of 6 hurdles, won at Cheltenham last time. Got to have a chance, hasn't he, I think. And, well, I don't know anything about Kopek to me, apart from the fact that he's favourite. So he's obviously got a great chance. So there's my two for that particular race. Get it over and done quickly. Let's go for that.
Thank you, Graham. Johnny, arms went up. Wadu?
Yeah, my strongest handicap bet of the week, this one. Been on it 25-1 and also at 14, so there's no going back on this one now. Mentioned it to you guys, I don't know, month, 6 weeks ago. Rock solid form. I think she's been kept back for this. Like Graham said, she's unbeaten over hurdles. The form line from that Cheltenham win in December is excellent, where she beat Joyous and Take No Chances, who have both won since. Both won really well. She got £2 tax, which I thought was not bad, really. Got away with that one. I just can't see any reason why won't be bang there at the finish in this race. I think she's got an absolutely brilliant chance. And like I say, my strongest handicap one of the week.
Oof, love it. Fantastic. Thank you, Johnny. Ian?
Me too. I'm on the Wadu train. What the guys have said about her form, and say 6 out of 6. Nice win at Cheltenham as well. Another one I like is, I'll just try and find is the Enabler. Gordon Elliott likes to target this race. He's had a bit of a funny prep. I know he's got a mark of 1:36.11.3. I think he's ran over every distance going this season. He's ran over 2 mile, 2.5 mile, even a 3 mile. But some details, there's kind of pieces of form line. I know Jasmine DeVoe didn't run that well last time out, but he was just behind him in the maiden hurdle at Navan. And let's have a look. He won at Leopardstown, won a maiden hurdle, beat Port Julian, Nella Past, and I'm Lorenzo. And he ran behind McClory at the Dublin Racing Festival. I think he was just there for a day out, to be honest. But yeah, it's just little pieces of form. Could have gone under the radar, OJ. So Elliot likes to target this race. I'll have a couple of quid on the Enabler each way. But Wadu would definitely be my win bet.
I do love it when you run through their past form and you name these other horses, but I do worry that our viewers are thinking, never heard of any of these horses. Sorry, Ian. I have to tell you about the pronunciation thing there. Sorry. Couldn't resist. Lovely. Thank you, Ian. And finally, Alex.
Yeah, just like Johnny. So thanks to Johnny. He got me on Wadu pretty early. So thanks, Johnny. I do like a mare in the Martin Pipe, as we know, Johnny. Indefatigable. Yeah. What a mare she was.
Oh, indefatigable.
Another one I've got to mention is East India Express. I was in Ascot in January and I bumped into a man who told me he was the owner of East India Express and it was going to go for the Martin Pipe. I don't know if he actually was the owner of the East India Express, but it's going for the Martin Pipe. So got to mention that one. And then another one I'm pretty keen on. I've been on this one for a while. It's put onto this by a lad I know called Archie. Tap on the Go for Mr. Henry de Bromhead. Got his 5th run to qualify for the race early last month. Well, sorry, in the middle of last month. Has form that sort of ties him in with horses like William Money. Who's the other horse he sort of tied in with? James's Gate. And then there's a few horses basically he's sort of tied in with. I think he can be very well handicapped. Although the handicapper did give him £7, but then the Irish handicapper prior to that took off £1 despite him finishing 3rd. So he got an extra 6 basically on the mark that I thought he'd get, which actually helps him really because it gets him into the race. So yeah, Tap on the Go and then mention for those other two.
Just to interrupt, OJ, I know I'm trying to plug another podcast, but the Only Fools Love Horses boys was on yesterday and had a stable hand for Nicky Henderson. Matty Gill, his name is, and he talked up East India Express for one of his handicaps, and I think he said Freddie Gordon potentially is going to take the ride as well. So
he's ridden the last couple of times, hasn't he, Gordon?
Sorry?
He's ridden it the last 2 times,
Yeah,
I think. Freddie Gordon
he'll
as
be
well.
on again at the festival. So I think he's very sweet on his horse to this race.
Nice little insight by Alex there then from some months ago. I did notice one of your
man that claimed to be the owner, but we don't know. No idea. I couldn't tell you what he looks like either.
With a jacket and a hat on.
I had quite a few pints of the black stuff at that point, so
I did notice it as we flicking through the betting. Another one that you put us onto earlier in the year, Hamsians entered here. And
he's about number 90, so I think he's got probably no chance.
But I know because I stuck a spreadsheet together when all the festival entries first came out, and I noticed it's the only runner Tony Martin's entered in the festival this year.
Really?
It's Hamsian in here and in the Coral Cup. It's got no others are coming over.
If by some miracle he gets in, you can't ignore that, especially with that crook.
Lovely. Well, that's superb, boys. I've enjoyed it. We've not taken up too much of people's time. I'm going to have to put you on the spot. If I said your handicap bet of the festival, I'll go to Johnny first because he probably doesn't need the breather because I think he has just pretty much told us and then gives you all a few extra seconds. So I think we know what it is. But Johnny.
Yeah, it's
not that one.
So yeah, then handicap nap would be Wadhu. I might as well give a next best. I'd go Panic Attack as next best in the plate.
Lovely, thank you, Johnny. Ian.
Oh, definitely Transmission in the National Hunt Chase. OJ, do you want next best?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll give you next best. The King of PRS or the King of Purrs for the Grand Annual.
Lovely. Thank you, Ian. Graham?
Jaguar. Definitely Jaguar. And I'm going to give you the art.
Yeah, you like that. Lovely. Thank you very much, Mr. Fletcher. And finally, Galpers.
Whistle Stop Tour and the Ultima is my best.
Oh, it has to be.
Absolutely. And Ian's horse is going to get chinned in the National Hunt Chase. Resplendent Grey.
Lovely. Thank you very much, fellas. Well, I very much enjoyed that. So all that's left to do is to thank you all for your time and your studying and your fantastic insights. For anybody out there watching, we hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, share and everything. And there's plenty of discussion to be had around handicap. So get in the comments and tell us what you fancy. Tell us where the boys have picked an absolute load of dross. We'll just argue that. See you later.
The art.
Any comments you want? If you want to comment on Scotty Rudderham's head up there that appeared in the corner a couple of times, well, there we go. Anything you want, stick it in the comments. Get involved. Ian just 24 hours a day. He's on there commenting back to people. So,
and anybody going to the festival? Me, John, are you there, Graham?
I'm on there on the Thursday.
On the Thursday, so come and say hello. And
where will you be?
Buy me
I
a
wonder
beer.
where you'll be. Let me think where you might be.
I'll be in the tax.
Where will you be? I wonder. Where will you be, Alex? Where do you think you'll be?
Anyone
On
buy
Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I could be in a members bar Thursday.
Did you? Well, I think we'll get into that as well. Actually, you never know. So.
If not, I'll be in the Guinness Village.
Oh, really? What a surprise!
Lovely. Well, yeah. Have a great festival, boys. Thanks again, and to everybody out there. Enjoy the racing next week. Have a great time, and see you all again soon.